Hello everybody. So today I'm going to talk again about Hollis and Tuk. So for the people who are right here on my channel and on this video, thank you for coming. I welcome you, of course. You must know that I started my channel by talking about Tuk and Hollis, and then I continued by doing some craft, by doing some decluttering. I even talked about makeup and products which don't happen very often, but it may happen. But I'm chiefly interested in decluttering, art and craft. I like Feng Shui. I suppose that I will have to talk about Feng Shui one day. Yeah, and music in general, but I talked mostly about Hollis and Tuk. If you wonder why them, I will link my video where I explain all this in the description box, and you will be able to see why. Anyway, I was saying that I was going to start decluttering my big room where I have a lot of things in stash and that I really must empty. I'm actually in the process of doing that. I didn't film yet. Something happened in the week which kind of messed up with my plans and my schedule. Maybe you have heard that Notre-Dame de Paris, the cathedral, was on fire, and the roof and the arrow, the pointy thing at the top, burned. So why does it affect my schedule? I was not there. I'm not in Paris, I'm in Los Angeles. When it happened, it's just when I woke up in the morning. At the beginning, we didn't know what was happening exactly, but more the time the hours were passing, worse it was getting. And I basically spent about 2 days following the news to know what is going on. And it is really strange because I'm not Catholic. I don't go to church usually. I already went in a church in my life, but I mean, I'm not Catholic. I'm nothing at all of any religion. I don't practice anything. It doesn't mean that I don't believe. I believe, but I keep that for me. But Notre-Dame was a place where I went to attend concerts, classical concerts played with the organs inside. I visited Notre-Dame about 30 years, a little more than 30 years ago. I went in the forest. Oh, sorry. The weirdest thing just happened. Someone called, as you could see, and the person said, "You are going to hell because you don't belong to our church." The person said, "You are going to hell because you don't belong to our church." It's not the first time that it happens. It happened once, a very long time ago. What is strange is that I'm talking about religion and just at that moment, this call. That was strange. During all this time, while I was following the news about Notre-Dame, because Notre-Dame, it's in Paris, it's like, it's in the middle of the city, it's in the middle of Paris, and it's like our home somehow. And it's such a beautiful place. It has been built a very, very long time ago. And it's not something that you can replace easily. So of course it was shocking for me, even if I'm not Catholic, even if I don't belong to any church. It touched me, and I couldn't stop following the news because I wanted to know if it was going to be saved, etc. And it's going to be saved. Fortunately, the firemen were unbelievable, extraordinary. They managed to save most of the cathedral. They managed to save all the art inside. They managed to save the 3 organs inside. We don't know if they work correctly, but they are still there. They managed to save the stained glasses, which were really in danger, but obviously they managed to save that. And that is a miracle in itself. During this time, while I was following this news, I was thinking about Hollis. Usually in life, when we are creators, painters, musicians, I don't know, singers, writers, whatever. In any art, there is always something that we want to achieve, but it doesn't mean that we manage to achieve it quickly in life, because maybe we are not ready, maybe we are not mature enough to do it, maybe we don't have the resources, the financial means to be able to do it, to have the time. Sometimes it needs some money to create something. Not a lot of artists are able to create their masterpiece. And Hollis managed to do it first with Spirit of Eden, even if what came before were also masterpieces according to me. But obviously, he really did it with Spirit of Eden, then with Laughingstock, and then even further with his solo album. So, he managed to do it. Why? Because The Color of Spring had such a success, they sold so much that the record company told Hollis, okay, now you can record whatever you want, you do whatever you want, and you have an unlimited budget. And we don't control what you do whatever you want, and we pay for it. What kind of company, record company or any company, does that? I mean, usually a company is on a budget. We are supposed to plan the money. So how they can say something like that to an artist? I'm very surprised about that, because I think it's not very professional. They could have said, we give you so much money, that money, and you do whatever you want with that. No, they let him do, they didn't put any limit, which is, according to me, already incredible, unbelievable. But they suppose that it was with rhyme and reason. I mean, they suppose that he was going to provide some new stuff, commercial stuff. He was told, okay, I have the money I want, I can do whatever I want, I have the time that I want, so I will do whatever I want. And he did. He really did whatever he wanted. So it's very rare that an artist has this opportunity. And he grabbed the opportunity and he did what he wanted, which was the beginning of... So he produced a piece of art, but I think it was the beginning of the end of his career somehow. So I was in this consideration during days, and I was thinking, was it a good or a bad thing? So my conclusion was that from an art point of view, for us, well, for us, no. From an art point of view, from a creation point of view, it was a good thing, because without this situation, we wouldn't have Spirit of Eden, and probably not Laughingstock, and probably not the Hollis solo album. From a human point of view, I want to say, what I mean is that as an artist, as long as he has something to accomplish, to reach a goal, he creates and creates and creates and continues until he will manage, hopefully, to reach that goal. The problem is that Hollis reached that goal very early in his life, because it happened when he was just married and he had his first kid. So he was still young when it happened. Is it a good thing? So once again, from an art point of view, yes, it was a good thing, because we had a masterpiece, as we have Notre-Dame, for example, which is a masterpiece too, which is a crazy building made incredibly. It was made with oak trees, it was made with the labor of a lot of people, with the thinking of a lot of artists, the work, the craziness put in it, and it's a masterpiece. By the same way, we have Spirit of Eden, which is a masterpiece. But what did it do to him and to his family? Because yes, he could have this life far from the stage, far from the tours, but was he creating as much? I'm wondering. Is it always good to live hidden? Is it always good to have achieved the goal before the right time? I don't know. Is there a right time to achieve a goal? I'm wondering if the human being is not made by such a way that we get bored if we reach our goal too fast. Because then what's left to do? Once he had done Spirit of Eden, Laughingstock, and his solo album, what's left to do? Nothing. He couldn't do more. He knew he couldn't do more. There was not much more to say. So, is art achieving a goal, or is art in the doing? And now I'm wondering if myself, I'm not trying to reach the goal just to have the opportunity to be in the doing all the time. Because as long as I'm in the doing all the time, as long as I haven't reached what I have in my mind, I'm still in the doing, I'm still aiming for something. But if I already managed to do it all, what's the point of doing more, you see? And I'm wondering if we didn't lose him so soon, because it's depressing to live like that when you have nothing left to do, when you can just live with the money coming in, the passive incomes. You sleep and the money is coming in. It's fun when you don't have a lot of money and you wake up. When I wake up in the morning and I see on my computer or on my phone that I sold this and that, I'm very happy because I was sleeping and things have been sold online. That's great. If I was arriving at a point when I don't have to do a thing anymore and the money is coming in all the time and I don't even need to move, I'm not sure it's so good. I think that what maintains us alive is the fact that we have to run after the carrots. It's a French expression. We say avoir une carotte devant soi. It means to have a carrot in front of us, which makes us move on, act, which makes us work. That's why so many people who are very rich, who don't need to work anymore, they are bored because they have nothing to prove anymore. They have nothing to achieve. So, did he do it too soon? I don't know, but I don't regret, of course, because I thought it was the best for him, because he was probably impatient, he wanted to do it. His career, how it happened, it was very good for us, it was very good for the level of the music and the level of the art, but was it good enough for him? I'm not sure. So I was in these thoughts while following the news about Notre-Dame. While I was listening to the news, a guy was interviewed by the journalists. He is a guardian of a building which is just across Notre-Dame. He can see Notre-Dame from his window. And he's also an artist, a painter. And the journalist asked him, how do you feel? Does it make you sad to see Notre-Dame burning like that? And he said, yes, it's horrible because I have a special relationship with Notre-Dame. I painted her several times, and that is why I have a special relationship with her. We say her for Notre-Dame, like if it was an old lady, So he had a very deep relationship with Notre-Dame because he painted it so many times. And suddenly, cling in my mind, I realized, of course, I feel touched by the fact that Hollis left us, because I painted him. I painted him several times. I've worked so much on his face, on his features, and we have a special relationship with our models. By the same way I painted Jim Morrison so much. I will talk about Jim Morrison later in other videos. I will explain to you what was my special relationship with Jim Morrison. And Jim Morrison, I painted him so many times, so much, that I have the feeling that I've known him, that I met him. that he was in my life. And he's sometimes in my life right now. I will explain to you how. No, there is no ghost in my house, and I don't believe in ghosts and things like that. Of course, I have a specific and very special relationship with Hollis. How could I dismiss this link that I have with him because I painted him, because I talked about him, because I did all these videos about him? Of course I have a link with him, even if I'm not related to him and I'm not a friend of him. But we have one thing in common. We grew up at the same period, basically. He was barely older than me. So we grew up at the same period, both in Europe. He was in London, I was in Paris. And we grew up in this same environment and this same musical world. It's a world that we both met at the same time. This morning I was invited for Easter. I was invited for a brunch in Pasadena. There was a young woman playing some music. She was playing some guitar and she was singing, and she was singing really well. And she sang a lot of things by, I think that I recognize some Ray Charles, Jose Feliciano, Stevie Wonder. These things that I was listening to when I was a child, a small child. And suddenly I realized that I already thought about that before, but it jumped to my mind this morning. We, Hollis and I, we really have the same musical education. And what he liked when he was a child, thanks to his brother, I was listening to the same thing, and it was a whole world. And listening to this young woman playing and singing all these old songs, it made me feel connected to Hollis, like if this world was presented in front of me. And I thought, he may not be here anymore, but the music we love, his music, the music in general that we love still exists. It's there. It made me feel like if he was still around. And it was kind of comforting this morning when I heard all these songs. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Also, a lot of people contacted me regarding Paul Webb. So it seems that Paul Webb has some fans. The only problem is that I have access to only 3 songs. I think that I managed to listen to a 4th one online, but that's it. But I realized that his album was much longer than that. There are many songs, but for I don't know what reason, I don't have access to them. So of course it's difficult to judge an album when you are not able to listen to the whole album. It's ridiculous. I only judged according to what I could listen to. I also judge according to what I heard before by him. A few years ago he made another album. I liked one song in it, so I judged according to that. So it's not a complete judgment, and I don't want to be judgmental anyway. I was just in my last video giving you my feeling when I listen to what he's playing and what he's singing. The feeling that I had, but I may be totally wrong. Don't be mad at me. Every person is entitled to have an opinion, and I just give you my opinion. I wanted to share these thoughts with you because I want to know what you think about all that. Did Hollis create his masterpieces too soon in his life? Do you think that it could have saved him if he had to do it later in life? I'm wondering, did you follow the news about Notre-Dame? How did it impact you? I know that it's not only a French thing, the whole world talked about it. Here I have a lot of people that I know who were shocked, who asked me what was happening, who were shocked and terrified. I think that there are many things that we must be thankful for. All this generosity through the world, all these people giving, and some people giving a lot, like big companies giving hundreds of millions of euros. That was amazing, according to me. I think I'm going to say something and you are going to say, are you religious or what? I have the feeling that Notre-Dame was giving us a message. We must try to understand the message. It's the first thing which came to my mind when I saw what happened and how it happened. It was really a very strange event. Here are my thoughts. Now I'm going to go back to the very concrete world. I'm in the middle of my paper decluttering process, and I will tackle the big room, which is going to move to another space. And you will see that in my next videos. If you want to follow me, please don't forget to subscribe, to ring the bell just beside subscribe. Give me a thumb up if you think that my video was interesting enough and that you learned something. And don't forget to comment, to tell me what you think. It's always a pleasure to have a conversation with you, even if we don't agree on everything. It doesn't matter. It's what makes the conversation interesting. Okay, I see you very soon in my next one. Bye bye.